Hey, thanks for coming together, and I thought it would be cool just to kind of rehearse all of the cool things that have happened at CYM this year. I know, looking back from this last year, there's been so many amazing stories, so many new things we've launched, and I think it's just so important to hear the wins and the stories. So I'd love to hear from you guys, some of your favorite moments that we've seen at CYM in the last 12 months.
I mean, I think when you look at just our youth ministry and our Wednesday night services this year, we've just seen record numbers like we've never seen before. I mean, things we've been praying and believing for. We're just seeing so many kids' lives impacted, and new kids are coming every single week, and every single one has a different story, and every single one comes from a different background, and it's really cool to just get to talk to these kids and find out where they're at and walk them through different things in life. And we're just seeing just so much life. Like, people are really excited about having a community. Kids who don't have a lot of friends at school or don't have a home to go home to are coming into our youth ministry and going, this is my home, this is a place I find community. Even looking at youth center, which I've been over for the last couple years, this year we've really seen just so much life. Tons of junior high and high school kids coming into youth center. It's the first place they want to be after school. They're begging for rides to come, and we're having to expand it. This year we're going to make a bigger youth center to provide for the kids that are coming in, and they're coming in hungry, both spiritually and literally. We're feeding them every single week, and they're devouring all of the chips and everything we put before them. But it's awesome because we're seeing lives change. It's really cool to just look back and go, wow, God's brought us so far this year with our youth ministry.
I think for us, one of the things that we're most excited about is the launch of the young adult ministry. I mean, and when I say launch, I mean like we are literally launching a whole new platform of ministry, reaching a specific age group that we as a youth ministry and as a church even haven't even really touched before. And we're talking about people in a really significant point of their lives, coming right out of high school, trying to decide, who am I going to marry? What am I going to do? Am I going to pursue a career? Am I going to go to college? How am I going to raise my family? Who am I going to be, really? What is my life going to represent? And there's a lot of big issues, and so it's challenging, but it's really exciting. I mean, we're less than a year into it, and we've been having once a month services, and we're seeing growth on every aspect every month.
It's been awesome to see, to be a part of that growth and to see the growth. Even just a year ago, I was working at a coffee shop, and I had the opportunity to watch Thomas and Melissa with their Connect group for a few months. And I kind of intently watched you guys and just waiting to see if you guys would say anything, because I had been interested in finding a church home. And you guys ended up inviting me, and I came to the first young adult night, like Thomas said, and then a couple weeks later, I went straight into youth camp, and then a couple weeks after that, I jumped into the internship in the Bible college, and it's been awesome and fun because now I have the opportunity to be, or to help lead one of the impact clubs that we have. We have, I think, 10 different impact clubs that we do a week at 6 different campuses. They're all at different times. But it's been awesome to see what God's doing in the youth and in their lives. And we are seeing weekly salvations, and we're seeing the fruit of the impact clubs at our youth group each week, and that's been awesome. And we know that there's so many more kids that we could get involved.
I know one of the things that super excites me is Mackenzie, you're actually at the high school you graduated from. You now lead an impact club. And so literally that all of these things connect, and now you are walking through the very hallways that you once walked as a student, now sharing the love of Jesus and reaching out to people. I think that's such a testimony of even the connection of all of the elements of CYM, that you can go from being a student to reaching students, go from being an outside looking into part of the community and reaching the outsiders to bring them in. And I think that's powerful.
Specifically, I work a lot with the junior hires. It's definitely been probably our craziest year ever, but the best year. I mean, we launched our first ever junior high kind of service, so never before had a once a month kind of junior high thing where it's just a place for junior hires to come and get connected. As soon as they come to church and they're afraid or they're scared or it's just too much for them, but finding a place where they can come in, they can come eat donuts with us and hang out, but also find out about who God is. It takes people that are willing to lay down their lives in that whatever capacity, if that's giving their money, if that's giving their time, if that's spending time just hanging out with junior hires and playing crazy games. experience is that we've really seen is that when you'll just take the time with the student, or take the time with somebody that maybe their parents won't take the time with them, or maybe they don't have real friends, they don't have anyone in their life that will actually just give them time or just show them love. And we've seen kids, their whole lives change, their whole lives transformed, that kids will get plugged in and planted in church and see whole families reached when someone's willing to say, you know what, I'm going to take some of my time, I'm going to take some of my resource to give that to junior hires. We had a kid that got in a situation and there was a stabbing and he got expelled from school, went into JDHD, and basically the school told him, you're never going to get to come back to our school. And so that was right around the time he got connected into our youth group. He started coming and he was in the JDHD school, and eventually he got to go back for half days, and they basically said, you're going to go half days, you're never going to come full time. Then he became getting one class after lunch, then he got 2 classes after lunch. Before we know it, after about a year of transformation, his parents started to see difference, then his teachers started to see difference, until finally the school said, we're going to let you back in full time. So we didn't think you'd ever make it back in the school, but now you are a full-time student back. From being expelled when he first came to our ministry, then to now a full-time student, is that we don't know where that student would be, but the power of Christ not only is evident in changing them from the inside out, but really just in their day-to-day activities where their moms and dads and even teachers can see that transformation. So
I know another thing is our youth camps. I don't know about you guys, but that's like literally the highlight of my year is youth camp, you know?
I think one of the coolest things we do is that we put on seriously the most fun week of your entire life. But with that is one of the most just amazing weeks of your whole life. I know in my life that I think it was at youth camp where I really made that commitment to Christ. Like I'm going to say, God, I want to give you everything. Is that so when you see people loving you and caring for you and actually taking the time to invest in your life, and they are putting on the most fun things you ever done, the crazy games and awesome stuff, and then you go from that, this amazing fun week, into great services, awesome worship, great messages. It just, you can't, there's nothing better than it. There's nothing that you could do to make youth camp more awesome than it is.
Just really pivotal moments that happen in Circle Youth Ministries, and these young people's lives, they come in and they get just transformed by God. 1 week of just meeting God and getting so just relationships with people and all the different things about youth camp is just amazing.
Yeah, I know we're trying to get students from schools there, and for a lot of kids it's really probably like you said, the highlight of their year. And they would never go on a vacation, they would never get away, and so for a week to literally, I think we put as much emphasis on not only powerful dynamic services, but literally that they would leave and say that was the best week of my life. One of my favorite moments of this year would have to be the city night that we launched in March, and really seeing this gathering of junior hires and high schoolers and college students come together. And we saw 113 visitors alone that night. 113 people that had never walked through our doors came through that night. We saw then this incredible service, and at the end, 57 young people gave their life to Jesus. That, everything we do, every dollar we've raised, every hour that we've invested in kid we've picked up from school, it was that night, I think there was just a celebration, literally a party. We had people breakdancing in the foyer and people eating pizza like crazy, but just this gathering where we kind of, I think, have asked this question amongst ourselves: what could happen if we circled our city? And what could happen if we just began to go into the places that people said you can't go, but we thought why can't we go in and see students encounter Jesus at their school and in coffee shops in downtown Medford and in church buildings and all over the place? And I think that that's the same question that we look in the future is what could happen when we circle our city? We've seen so many changed lives, but there's hundreds and thousands that still need to be changed. And I feel so privileged to be a part of a movement, to see that we've just begun. I truly believe our best days are ahead of us. I truly believe that for every changed life we've seen, there are dozens and hundreds beyond them that still need to be changed, that we get to be a part of. And I can't wait to see what can happen in this next year as we continue to go into the city and go into the schools and share the love of Jesus and bring hope into hopeless places. It's amazing.